Talk to us about DIY commerce. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm excited to be on the call this morning and to just kind of talk about. I think this question that everybody's wondering is like, how do I sell my products online, right? Some of us have done that for a long time, but for those of us who are kind of scrambling and have been scrambling for the last year with COVID and with potential more shutdowns coming, thinking about how am I going to sell my products online and make this work? That's kind of what we're here to help you figure out. So I'm going to start off by talking about some of the reasons or some of the ways that you can know if you should be considering doing it yourself or if you should be talking to a professional. And then I'm going to jump into a very quick tutorial on how to use a tool like Shopify, which is one of the many different web builders out there that are built for business owners to do themselves, right? There's like Squarespace, Wix, Shopify. There's all kinds of things. And I just kind of chose one arbitrarily, and I'll show you how to use it a little bit. So it might feel a little bit strange for somebody like me. HustleFish is a web development agency. We do some marketing stuff too, but primarily we build custom websites for clients. So it might feel odd for me to be on here talking about how to use a tool like Shopify or Squarespace that in some ways makes my job irrelevant, right? It's built for people who aren't developers, who aren't marketers, to be able to spin up a new website, sell their products online, and just get moving. So that's true, but there's definitely still instances in some cases where you need to have some professional help, and it's not just something you can do alone. So I'm going to talk through some of those reasonings, when you might need to talk to a professional or when you can consider doing it yourself. But again, in this webinar, we're definitely focusing on how business owners can respond to COVID and make sure that they can sell their products online as quickly and simply as possible. So that'll be the focus. But yeah, before we get there, I just want to talk through some of these things. So let's dive into it. The first kind of consideration, if you should build it yourself or if you should be talking to a professional, is around the actual product that you sell. It can be really tricky to offer a lot of customization or in the industry, they call it modularization for products on something off the shelf like Shopify or Squarespace. Like if you think about, for instance, like if you go to a car manufacturer's website, you can kind of customize your own car, right? You can change the color, the wheel size, you can add all those different bells and whistles, and all the time the image on the site is changing in real time, right? Something like that can be pretty tricky to do out of the box in something like Shopify or Squarespace. It might need some custom help. Those tools do allow you to do something as simple as changing out colors or something like that, but or selecting sizes, for instance. If you're selling clothing, that's a pretty simple one. But if your product that you're selling is a little more modular than that, a little more customizable, has a few more options, that could be tricky, and you might want to be thinking about talking to a professional instead of trying to do it yourself. Another thing to consider is what type of shipping options do you need? So the tool that I'll show you here in a little bit, Shopify, they have some really great shipping. They have a really great shipping plugin already. It kind of integrates automatically with some of the main carriers, and you could print labels from it, all that stuff. It's really nice. But if you have any more like custom shipping needs, if you have a specific carrier that you have to work with and it's not kind of one of the big three or whatever, or if you're selling a product that needs like refrigerated shipping or any sort of temperature control, that's a little more tricky, and it's not just as simple as setting it up by yourself. You might want to talk to a professional. One big one that I think people aren't really aware of is the options that you can have in an e-commerce store to kind of automate working with different vendors. So if you're like a retailer or a boutique that you're selling consignment, or you work with other vendors or creators to like fulfill or create those products, you can get a lot of flexibility out of a custom e-commerce site. So an example of this, we just worked with the Rotary Club of Lafayette to get a fundraising store live where they're selling coffee on their website. And it's integrated right now. So they're working with a warehousing company, a warehousing and logistics company here in Lafayette. So their website, if a user comes to their website, buys a bag of coffee, that order gets placed to their warehousing company that fulfills and ships that order, but they collect the payment, the Rotary Club, And also they're able to partner with other Rotary clubs around the nation and let them do the same kind of fundraising tool through their website. And then they can pay them like a commission or an affiliate fee for selling their coffee. And it's just a great way to kind of automate all those different things and tie all those different partnerships together in the back end so that you don't have to manually say, okay, this partner over here needs to be paid out $10 and I need to tell my warehousing company that he needs to drop ship 6 of these products. All that happens in the back end automatically. Another thing that you can do like this is as a retailer or a boutique, you can, like I said, have the orders from your website get fulfilled directly by the manufacturer or like the creator of that product. And you can also create like custom accounts where they can log into the site and add new products or manage inventory for a different product and fulfill orders and do things like that. So it's really slick. It's a great way to automate some of that stuff so you don't have to do all that work on your own. And again, if this is more of a long-term solution and you're looking to offload some of that manual work, it might be a good idea to talk to a professional. That's not necessarily something that's easy to do out of the box. Kind of along those lines, another thing that you should consider as you think about doing it yourself versus working with a professional is integrating with any of your back-end systems or tools. So if you're using like an inventory management system in your store, you want your website and that tool to be talking to each other, right? Like you don't want to have to go and once you sell a couple products in your store and sell a couple products online, you don't have to like manually do the accounting of, okay, how many actual products do I have left and make those adjustments in those 2 different inventories, right? You want those things to be connected. Same thing goes with like accounting software, things like that. So if there's any back-end tools or software that you use to do your job and you want that integrated into the site, it may be more complicated. I know Shopify offers some out-of-the-box integrations with different tools. I'm sure QuickBooks, some of the main ones, but if you have anything custom or it's a little more complicated than that, it might be worth talking to a professional. The last thing, and I'll get into the tutorial here, the last thing that I wanted to hit on was just this custom experience, this idea of a custom experience, right? So for each one of us business owners, I am willing to bet that what we do isn't actually as unique as we'd like to think it is. For anybody who sells a product, there are companies like Amazon who sell the exact same product and probably cheaper. So what is it about our businesses that users appreciate or customers appreciate, and why do they keep coming back to us, right? It's a lot to do, I'm gonna argue, it's a lot to do with the experience that we give them and the idea of shopping local and supporting local businesses and the experience that they have with you behind the counter, right? And I think one of the hardest things about COVID and figuring all this out is that customers are losing that kind of experience, that face-to-face, that good feeling that they get with you when they come into your shop and just kind of like the ability to like talk and interact with you. So how do you kind of recreate somewhat of that experience, right? It'll always be different, but how do you kind of recreate and give that same type of experience to customers? If they're going to buy online, why not go to the big box store that sells it easier, faster, and cheaper than what your store will do? So if you want to provide your customers with more of a custom experience, or you want to add that kind of unique experience or that unique flair that makes your business what it is, that really adds the special sauce, if you will, you might want to talk to a professional. I know it seems like you're the only one who knows how to make your business feel like your business, and that's true to an extent, but yeah, it can just be kind of tricky to make that happen and not get stuck in the weeds and never get a site launched. So if you're looking to have that kind of experience with your customers, even online, it might be worth talking to somebody who can kind of help you create that and bring your vision to life. And that's what a lot of web agencies or marketing agencies do every day, right? It's they help you bring your brand to life on the web or through the different media that they use. So anyways, that's it. That's not really it. There's probably 100 reasons factors that you need to consider to decide whether or not you can do this yourself or you need to hire a professional. And obviously some of those factors are things like just time and money, right? If you're going to be working with a professional, it's probably going to cost you a little bit more money than if you were just going to do it yourself. But at the same time, as a business owner, are you really maximizing the value of your time by working on something that isn't really in your wheelhouse? And you can do it, but should you is kind of the question. So I'm not going to tell you how to figure that part out. That's definitely something you need to wrestle with and decide for yourself if you'd rather spend the money or spend the time. But yeah, I'll leave you with those thoughts as to if you need to hire a professional or if this is something you can do yourself. So with that, I'm going to dive into the tutorial. It may feel a little bit weird, like I'm giving away all the secrets or something, but honestly, with the web, there are no secrets anymore. These tools are out there. They're so easy to use. They make sense for a lot of people, and I'm not giving away any secrets. You can Google or YouTube a similar tutorial and get started on your own without me. So yeah, the other thing I want to say is there's no possible way that I could show you how to do everything in like a 15-minute time frame. But what I hope to do here is show you like maybe the 4 or 5 different steps that if you do this, you can immediately get going selling your products online. You don't have to do all the different bells and whistles. And I just want you to feel confident moving forward. If you do choose this option, that you can get something up and running even just this weekend, right? It doesn't have to be a huge lift. So lots of preface. Let's dive into it. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, I think you guys can see it. So like I said, I'm going to show you Shopify specifically. So we're just going to hop into Shopify. I guess when you land on this page, you'll have to create your own account, but it's very, very simple. All you need to do is fill out some of your business information to get an account going. And then there's like a 14-day free trial. So there's no like pressure to choose something and pay for it offhand. And then they just charge like a monthly fee after that. It's like $30 a month and there's different tiers, whatever. But getting your account set up is really, really fast and easy. So I've already done that part and I'm going to jump in here. All right. So when you log in, you see this dashboard and it feels a little overwhelming at first. There's a lot of different options over here on the sidebar. There's kind of a lot of different things here on the homepage in the back end, but you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. If you just want to get something up and running very quickly, I'll show you how to do it. You can ignore most of it for now. So really quick, I'm going to just preview my store. When you start, it'll likely just set you up with a dummy site that is using a default template. It just filled in some of your information. It'll look something like this. But in the back end, there's kind of 4 main things on the homepage that we're going to talk through. Adding a product, customizing a theme, adding your domain, setting up payments, and then there's like a bonus one that I'll get into a little later. But these are the 4 things. If you do these 4 things, you'll be ready to sell stuff online. It's really straightforward. It's really easy. You don't have to do all the different things. Just if you get done with these 4 things, you can start selling online. So that's what I'm going to go through. First, add a product. So I've already added some, but I'll show you what it looks like to add another one. Click that big green button and it pulls up this product page. So again, it feels pretty intuitive, pretty well described. So there's a section for a title. So you can title whatever your product is that you're adding. You can add a short description. You should definitely add a media piece. So you could do a video or a photo of the product that you're selling. This section shows you how to add pricing. This is the main price of the item. You can add like a discount price. You can ignore this cost per item. It's not really relevant. You definitely want to charge tax for this project, for the product. That's for sales tax. Again, there's a lot of options here that really you can ignore if you just want to get things up and running as quickly as possible. Like you don't really need to add SKU numbers for your product or ISBN numbers, anything like that. You can ignore all that. Tracking quantity is a really nice feature. Like I kind of said before, you can set like, okay, I only have 3 of these products available. And once they're sold, they're done. And I don't want to sell anymore. So that'll help you avoid that awkward situation where you got to go back to a customer and tell them like, oh, hey, we ran out after you bought it. Sorry, here's a refund. You don't have to do that. So managing quantity for your different, or managing inventory for your different products is really nice. Shipping, you probably want this to be selected always, this physical product thing, and you can add the weight for each product. That'll help. Like I said before, Shopify has some great shipping integrations, so you can print labels directly from Shopify and pay for shipping directly from Shopify, which is sweet. And the way that they calculate shipping costs is through this weight section. So if you know how much your product weighs, you can add that, and then it will do a better job of calculating shipping costs for you. Ignore this stuff. And then down here really quick, I'm not going to go into this too much, but is this variants section. So this is what I was talking about earlier with if your product has different options like sizes or colors, you can click this tab and then you can choose, okay, I need to add a size variant. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but if you add color, you can add different photos for the different colors that are available in the product, things like that. So that's where you do all that stuff and add those different variations. I'm gonna scroll back to the top. Over here, you can see this organization section. And if you're gonna add like 500 products to your website, obviously a user's not gonna wanna have to scroll through all 500 of those products to find what they're looking for, right? They want to be able to at least sort by product type. So if you add a product type in here, like shirts or shoes or jewelry or kind of whatever types you're selling, that'll appear as a filter, and you can kind of sort the store by those different filters. You can also do it by vendor, depending on how you want to arrange your products. Finally, you just need to switch it to active and then hit save, and your product will be live. I'm going to show you really quick some of the products that I've already created. So I just threw these in, pulled some stock photos. So here's a Nike shoe. It's a premium shoe. It's the best. That's in the description. Photo, you can add more photos. You can set the price, right? You can set the quantity that are available, the weight of the product. And that's pretty much it. It's really straightforward. And now this product is ready to sell online. So that's the product section. You can add as many of those as you need to. You can categorize them, sort them, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go back to the homepage now. Once you've added your product, it's time to customize your theme. So really quick, here's the front end of the site that I've been working on, right? It shows you what's been set up so far. And there's a lot of like blank spaces. And that can be intimidating for business owners. Like what information am I supposed to put here? What kind of photos am I supposed to put here? I don't know if I really even care about that stuff, right? So if we go to customize your theme, it will pull up the section around that theme. You can change out colors, fonts, things like that. But you can also hide sections and edit sections. So when you first log in, you'll get a default theme that your site will be in. And you can also change your theme by going down to theme library. There's a bunch of free themes. There's a store where you can buy some premium or paid themes, but we're just going to work with the default. And I'm going to hit customize, and it will pull up this preview thing. So over here in this section off to the right, you can see what the live site looks like right now. And then over here in the left-hand section, you can see kind of a breakdown of the different sections that exist on the site. So there's the main nav with like my company name and the menu and the shopping cart, all that stuff. And then there's this like header section here. So I can go in and edit this. I can change out this photo. They've got free photos that you can use. If I don't want to change the photo, I can change the text, the headline, the text below. I can add a button or remove this button. Basically customize this as much as I want. Once I'm happy with that, I can just keep moving on. So, and again, it's kind of just broken down into sections. So as you scroll down, you see this section, that's this image with text. The next section is these text columns with images. And I don't really want to fill out any of that stuff. I don't think it's necessary for me just trying to get my products online. So I'm just going to hide them and get rid of them. And so now all that's on my website is this main section here, and then the products that I have listed in my site, and that's it. I don't want anything else. I just want to make it really simple for this use case. Obviously, this isn't how we would build a site as a professional, but again, if you're just trying to get your products online to sell, you can add all this stuff back in later as you need to, but it might be worth just kind of taking like bite-sized chunks out of this project, because it could be really overwhelming easily otherwise. So once you're done with this, just hit save, and it will make all those changes, and you can go back out to the main screen. All right, so we've added our products. We've kind of customized our theme a little bit. I didn't show you how to add colors and stuff like that, but you can figure that out on your own. The next section is a little bit more technical. You need to add your domain. So I'm gonna click on this and we'll kind of talk through it. So when you first register for a Shopify account, it creates this automatic domain for you. This is a live link that I could send you, and you could access the store right away, hustlefish.myshopify.com. And that'll be automatically set up for you. So if you did nothing, this would still work. So you don't have to even touch this if you don't want to, if it feels too complicated, and you can just use this default URL that they'll give you. Otherwise, you can connect your existing domain. So if I wanted it to be part of hustlefish.com, I could connect an existing domain. I could transfer a domain into Shopify, or I could even buy a new domain and call it something like shophustlefish.com or shoplafayette.com, something like that. So I could buy a new domain and get that set up here for my website. But again, I'm just going to reiterate that you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. This link right here will work. You can send this out via social media. You can send it in emails, whatever you want to do. This link will work. So I'm going to go back to home. The next piece in this big 4 bucket is setting up payment. So obviously you want to, like, the whole point of this is to be able to accept online payments, to let people check out with credit cards and all that stuff. To do that, you need to choose a payment processor. So click on this tab and view the payment settings that you have available. So there's a handful of different things, right? Shopify has its own kind of payment portal. You could use PayPal if you're already using that, or you could use Amazon Pay as well. There's a handful of third-party providers, but as you start going down this list, they get more and more complicated. If you haven't already set up like an online payment processing tool, I would probably guarantee that the fastest right now would be Shopify payments, just so there's no integration. There's no like log into this account and then log into that account type of thing. It's all in one place. And I think these credit card rates and these fees are pretty much standard. No matter what tool you use, you're probably going to be paying that amount anyways. So go ahead and just complete that account setup if this is what you want to choose. And it'll just ask you for a handful of information around your business, and then some personal information too for you as the owner. And this is, you can see, this is kind of a really short application process. So fill out some of this business information, the address of the business, your name, date of birth. It will ask you for your social, last 4 digits anyways, to verify your identity. And it will ask you for routing information. So some of it's like, pretty personal information, but obviously you want to be able to transfer funds to your bank in the end. So fill all that out and hit complete account setup, and you'll be good to go. Ready. They might have I'm not 100% sure, but they might have like a waiting period of a day or something before it's all set up and ready to go. But it's very quick, and it's probably the easiest way to get payments set up on your website. I'm going to go back to home. So we've gone through adding a product, customizing your theme, adding your domain, and then setting up your payments. The last thing that I want to show you, which is kind of a really cool thing that I think they probably added this before COVID, but it's especially useful during COVID, is local delivery and local pickup. So you saw the shipping options that you had available to you. You can set all that stuff up, but also to make things easier for users, you can set up local delivery or pickup. So I'm going to click on that button. It shows the shipping stuff, blah, blah, blah. We won't get into that, but local delivery. So right now I don't have that turned on. Let's turn it on and show you what it looks like here. So it's as simple as checking this button. So you can set how you want delivery to work, right? So using the customer's zip code or a radius from your store, you can say, you can determine how far, or if you'll do delivery or not, and then if you'll charge or not, right? So you can set a delivery radius, let's say 6 miles from the store. So as somebody checks out and adds their address, it'll show whether or not delivery is available. And then you can charge for delivery as well. So you can say, hey, I'm only going to offer delivery if it's over $50 and it'll be free. Or you can say the minimum shipping or the minimum delivery price is $10. So you have to order at least $10 worth of merchandise for it to be worth it. And then also I'm going to charge $5 for delivery. So that's delivery, which is pretty cool. You can also, sorry, one more thing. You can also show add conditional pricing. So if it's over $100, you can make it free. And if it's if it's under, if it's, you can add a minimum order price, and do custom stuff. So if it's like under a certain amount, you can make it free. If it's over a certain amount, you can make it free. And if it's under a certain amount, you can charge a fee. Sorry, that made that way more confusing than I needed to. But it's just nice to have options for that. I'm gonna go back and show pickup. So you can also add pickup for your store. Manage that, add local pickup, and you can set how quickly, once a user checks out, how quickly will their order be ready to pick up. You can select one of these things. You can make sure the address is correct. And then you can set a notification. So once you fulfill the order in Shopify, it'll send an automatic notification to the customer saying, hey, your order's ready to pick up. And you can customize this message and tell them how to pick up. If you have like contactless delivery, if you want them to honk 3 times as they pull up to the store, something like that. All right, I've been talking a lot. That is kind of the most important things in Shopify to get you up and running. And we just went through that in 15 minutes. Like, honestly, if you spend a couple afternoons on something like this, adding your products, tweaking some settings on your store, you can get something up and running for your e-commerce site very, very quickly. And it's not a huge lift, right? So I think this is a great option for people as you start thinking about how to sell your products online, especially during COVID. If you need to get something up fast, easy, no headache, and you want to do it yourself, there's really good options out there. So that is really all I have. If you have any questions, I'd really be happy to help out if I can answer them. We're all in this together. I know COVID has just been really hard on a lot of businesses, and we just love to help and support our community as we can. And yeah, that's all I've got. I'm going to hand it back over to Mark.
Thank you, Tyler. It's fantastic information. Do you have a contact information for them if they want to contact you?
For sure. Yeah, you can just email me at tyler@hustlefish.com. That's probably the best way, and then I'll reach out on that. One other thing that I forgot to mention is there are hundreds of YouTube videos on how to set up a Shopify account. Even in the homepage of the dashboard, if you were to log in, there's a bunch of videos right there to show you how to do different things. So again, what I just showed you is not private information. It's all already on the web. So if you need help, feel free to Google things too, or shoot me an email.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you all who are viewing and will view the video. We're also going to, this is a recorded session. It will be on our website also if you need to go back for references. And then feel free, obviously, to contact Tyler at any time. January the 13th will be the next time we're live. It'll be the Lowdown Live at 9 a.m. So hopefully you'll tune in. Until then, everyone, stay safe.